Okay, I'm making this video totally unedited. This is not scripted, and I'm really just gonna I got an idea of what I want to talk about, but it's gonna be like super raw. So just that's what you're in for. Please bear with me. I will try to be as concise as possible and just kind of get to the point. Um, so, what I want to talk about in this video, or the reason for making this video, is because this is something that I've been wanting to start or wanting to do for a long time and have just held, just like sat on my hands because of this thing or that thing, or, oh, well, like, I need to really think this, I want to make this a big project or like make it this whole thing, and just any number of excuses for not doing this or not making this type of content and putting it out there. And so this literally is just me just sitting around, just thinking, and just deciding, okay, I'm literally just gonna press the record button and start talking. Because even if it's shit, even if it's really badly edited, if it's terrible quality, I would rather just start than to wait another year or two giving a bunch of excuses, right? And so this is in response to the other mania that I see in the world right now. And I think, like a lot of people, I'm pretty freaking sick of it. I'm sick of a lot of things that are happening, that are um, our circumstance right now, that we all just seem to have accepted. And a lot of us recognize a lot of the problems with it, and we maybe complain about it or whatever, but ultimately don't care enough or have become too numb to actually do anything about it. And a lot of us don't even know where to start. And I'll be honest, I look at the size as I get older, and I see the size of a lot of the problems that's facing my generation and our society in general. It's fucking terrifying. I'll be honest, it's terrifying. Um, but I've lived the last few years of my life learning more about it, learning more about the world, and honestly living in a lot of fear, living in a lot of uncertainty and anxiety about the future. And I'm really tired. I'm really tired of just saying, well, oh, well, look at all these problems with social media, or look at all these problems with my generation, or yeah, climate change is gonna fuck us all up, or someone's gonna press the nuclear warhead one day and it's gonna be gone. And and I can't live like this anymore, because how the fuck do you go to work and do anything or try to create anything for the future when there's so much uncertainty and anxiety? And so, I've just this is me trying to move out of that and saying, all right, I don't know what the fuck the rest of the world is doing, right? I'm one person. I can't learn it all. I can't read it all. I can't talk to every person. I can't know everything that's happening, the depths of everything that's happening. But at least with my experience, I can try to make the world a better place in the way that I can, and try to bring about the future that I want to see, rather, and hopefully that we all want to see. Um, Rather than just being utterly nihilistic about the state of the world and about all of this shit, right? And so I want this basically to be a project, like an open conversation for anybody in my life, anybody that I have come into contact with. I guess I'm gonna put this on YouTube and like try to link it to like social media. Um, but this is just for literally for like anybody, to open up conversation about how to kind of like actually start, like person by person, working towards a better future. And I think there are a lot of deep sort of underlying moral and ethical questions that we have to answer as we're going forward, but we can start taking a lot of right steps, um before any of that, right? And so, oh no, am I gonna run out of storage, or I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and so let me kind of break down a couple of the problems that I see, and then a couple of ideas that I have, things that I'm personally trying to do, personally working on, and then explain how I like want to maybe open up the conversation to making this more than just you watching this video or watching like a minute of this video, getting bored and clicking away and doing something else. So the biggest problem I think that I'm trying to address here is social media. And social media is kind of a stand-in, or I'm going to use social media like interchangeably with the word like internet, because for a lot of us, social media has kind of become the internet. It has become our sole source of information. And if it's not social media, just media in general, right? And so um, the main problem I see is it's kind of the frog in a boiled pot, which is if you drop a frog in a pot of boiling water, it's going to jump right out, right? Whereas if you put a frog in a lukewarm pot of water and you boil it, it'll stay there until it dies. This is a situation that every single one of us finds ourselves in. Young, old, nobody is exempt. I see old people staring at their phone just as much as fucking young people, okay? So, there's some generational differences, but we are all facing this problem, which is we are our senses, our psychology is being utterly abused and just blasted with overstimulation every fucking second. A lot of me bringing this up is because I've like bringing it up right now, like at this point in my life. A lot of the motivation pushing me to make this video is for myself, because a little bit of context. Right now, I'm living in a little city right outside of San Francisco. I just moved here, like totally spontaneous. Just decided I need the novelty. I need that push of moving somewhere new, starting over to kind of get certain things going, to get like some motivation and stuff back in my life. And before this, I was working as a server. I was working like 50, 60 hours a week, and I was on my screen time. Like I'll find a picture of it. I have a thing that tracks my screen time on my phone. Was like, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours a day for the whole day, right? And sometimes it was like 30 minutes. And a lot of this is just because I was at work all day. And something, but even before then, I'd worked really hard to, I haven't been active on social media. I've been working really hard to be present, to be working on projects, be reading, to be trying to develop myself, right? And being here, being present, and whatever it is that I was doing. And let me tell you, going from that to then once I moved out here, I was using my phone every day to coordinate, like, where am I going, where am I going to be staying, looking for a job, looking for places to stay, talking to people, trying to meet people, getting around in the city. And then in the downtime, as I've it's been a crazy week and a half, let me just tell you. And maybe I'll make more videos about like those stories and stuff. But there's been a lot of uncertainty and anxiety in my life in the last week and a half. And as a coping mechanism, in the downtimes, as I'm waiting for something, is like, I'll just find myself like, reaching out or messaging people or looking for some kind of like, that stimulation. And my screen time has gone from like 1.5 hours a day to like 6 or 7 hours a day for a week straight. And I'm fucking nauseated by how I've just been swept up by this current, like, and it's not some like huge thing. Rather, it's like it's little tiny decisions, and this is what's like terrifying, is that it's somehow all of these tiny decisions that don't seem um, you know important at all, or they don't seem like a big deal, has led to 7 hours a day and being utterly like numbed, and it's like feeling really really out of balance, and it's the literally tiny decisions of like, oh well, let me just check this message real quick, or let me just reply back to this thing, or let me just fucking fiending, and I'm aware of it, I'm mindful of it, and I'm like, okay, it's fine, like I'm just kind of working this out or whatever, whatever. Or we'll even just kind of be like, oh, okay, I know I should not be doing this or whatever, but just be, and then just, really just getting sucked. And like literally for years, I have not even, I like, there was a time when I literally did not have any like Instagram, Facebook, any of this shit on my phone, right? And now, time after time, literally, I find myself scrolling on Instagram, and I will ask myself, how did I get here? I like literally have fallen into a trance and found myself just mindlessly on Instagram. I'm like, what the in what moment, right? And this is absolutely terrifying to me because I've spent so much of my life trying to like thinking about this and learning about the algorithms, learning about the psychology, trying to cultivate meditation, mindfulness, and all of this stuff. And in a week, gone, all of it. Like it means nothing. And and it's just really because like seeing just the fucking hyper addictive nature of it in that light, and then seeing the actual like the effect of I have effectively done the equivalent of like multiple lines of cocaine daily for the last week after having been sober, right? And so like I was just like, I would be sitting and I just noticed like I'm like, what the fuck, like I'm 20. I am like, you know, living this really interesting adventure. Just moved to a new city, meeting like new people, working at like a new place, doing all of this new like interesting stuff. That that like my life seems great on paper. I should be like ecstatic, and I like find myself just sitting there, just completely restless, and I've like blank. I'm like, why? Why am I so happy? Or why am I so unhappy? Why am I so discontent? What am I feeling for? And I realize it's this. It's because I have effectively overloaded my entire dopamine system, right? It's like it's like a person having done meth and coming down and then being like, why don't I why am I not happy? Why don't I feel amazing? Right? Why am I not on top of the world like I was when I got that little notification or whatever, right? And you like if you're kind of just totally in the matrix of all of this, a lot of what I'm saying might sound like a total exaggeration to you. But shit, we'll go into some of the psychology. Like it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I won't do it in this video because I'm trying to make this concise. That's the word. But anyway, so this is a lot of the pretense for me making this video is trying to pull myself out of it, out of the fucking matrix, getting sucked back into all of this shit again, and just trying to find that balance for myself, and then also just being absolutely sick of us as a society, as a collective, accepting this as our basis, as our reality, and just having complete fucking tunnel vision, right? And so let me go into, I'm gonna get a little bit like heated about this maybe, but let me just go into a couple of the things that I'm fucking sick and tired of seeing. Okay, I work as a server now, and I have for a little bit. I am tired of people, everyone says time is so important, right? I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do this, whatever. And yet somehow people have the time to go out to a restaurant with somebody that they care about, spend money that supposedly they don't have because they can't do all these other things that they would really like to be doing because they don't have time or money. Yet somehow they're able to spend this time and money to go to this restaurant to be with this other person that they care about. And instead of one being present with the server and actually looking at them while they order anything, instead of two being present when they're eating their food or enjoying their fucking $14 drink that they paid for, or their $20-$30 entree, or whatever, um, instead of being present with the person that they've taken the time to be with. None of that is good enough. None of that is interesting enough. None of that is stimulating enough. Not as much as just mindlessly scrolling through Instagram. If you think I am exaggerating, please, I invite you. Actually, I'm begging you, go to a restaurant. Go sit at the bar. Go at just on a random Tuesday, during the dinner rush. Just go sit at the bar and just watch. Just observe. Don't make any judgments or anything, just observe. Because, you know, it's there's a lot that you don't notice that goes on like in a restaurant when you're not working there, right? But pay attention to every other person in this restaurant who has paid so much money and spent so much of their time to be here to just mindlessly scroll on Instagram. And they're not even it's not like they're booking flights or taking urgent business calls. There's absolutely nothing urgent. It's just scrolling. Dates, old people, what's worse is families. They bring out all of their kids, right? All of their kids are watching something on their iPad, and then they're not even talking to their fucking kids. And obviously, it's not everybody, okay? But you will be surprised at what percentage of people it is, okay? I'm fucking sick of that, okay? I'm sick that this is just normal to us, okay? Stand by a street. How many people by a busy street? If you don't live in a big city, this is kind of hard, right? But find the nearest big city, okay? Go to a public place. Observe. How many people cross the street looking at their phones? How many people have headphones on while they're walking? How many people are utterly oblivious to everything that is happening around them, okay? Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to your habits. Track your screen time, right? What do you do? Pay like how often do you open your phone with a purpose? And how often do you get anxious, you get antsy, and you just reach for it? How often do you find yourself on an app without even knowing why you're there? Without even like how many times you find yourself on Pinterest or whatever, and you're like, wait, how did I get here? Right? Is that okay to you? Is that acceptable? It's a genuine question, okay? I'm sick of it. I am sick of then the content, okay? As far like somebody who has come from, when I use social media actively was maybe like 3 years ago, and that's when I was like probably the most active on it actually, right? And then it just kind of fickled out, and I just more and more I just got sick of it. And then recently, like, I haven't really interacted with it at all, other than like just recently getting back into it. And like, oh my god, like, again, the boiled frog thing. So in case you haven't been paying attention, okay, YouTube used to have one ad, maybe, on videos that agreed to monetize. Now, read the policy. They can monetize any video they want. You don't have to, even if you upload content, and actually, I'm not 100% sure about this, okay, but I was just reading through the policy that they sent, like they emailed and they updated it. But they can, as far as I understand, they can monetize any video, even if you haven't agreed that your video will be monetized. So they might even put a fucking ad on this video. Actually, and if they do, fucking watch it. Watch the whole goddamn damn thing. Watch it 100 times so I at least can make some money off of it, right? Uh, but um, so, used to be one ad. Okay, now you get two ads at the beginning of the video, but oh, it doesn't stop there. No, now you get ads in the middle of your fucking video. It's not enough that you can't, that you have everything else about your phone designed to pull your attention away from what you're doing. Now, literally in the video, they're like, ooh, 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 look look at here, click here, click here, click here. Stop. Literally, don't pay attention. There's probably they might put an ad right in the middle of this fucking video, you know? And instead of actually finishing and listening and how, honestly, like maybe 5% of the people that watch this have clicked on this video have made it this far, right? Because they've already been distracted by some other thing. What does that say? What does that say about us as a species, as a society? Is this what we want? Okay. So YouTube ads, now pay attention to the way that it's set up, right? The whole gamification. And like I want to go like much deeper into this. I can't go into it in just this video. I'm just highlighting stuff, but pay attention now. YouTube is trying to be TikTok. They have little YouTube shorts. Don't even get me fucking started on TikTok, but that's another thing. They have little YouTube shorts. They have stories. They put the ads where the videos would be. They make the ads look like a video. Okay. So the whole thing, that the whole way that it's been set up, totally different, right? Like totally gamified over the last couple of years. Okay. Reddit. One thing that I noticed they did that just pisses me off is they started, as you're scrolling again, they put the ads like literally every couple of posts now is an ad, right? You scroll, ad, scroll, ad, and it looks like a post. That is by design, okay? And okay, well, not only that, but I read somewhere that Google, like literally on one of their pages, they experimented with like 40 different shades of blue to find which one would was more likely to get people to click. If you don't think that every goddamn fucking thing about this is set up, calculated by the most complex, super like intelligent algorithm to do one thing, direct your attention to manipulate your psychology, you're fucking delusional. Okay. And it's a lot of it is just because people don't know about this. People don't realize it. Nobody talks about it. Okay. So just so you know, that's what you're dealing with. Okay. So this whole ad setup, whatever. Okay, great. And then they added it to where like now they advertise like they show like the comment section. They didn't used to do that. They do like the most popular comment or whatever, right? And just literally anything they can do to grab your attention, because the thing is, the more pages you flip through, the more things that you click on, the more ads that you see, the more attention that they are able to sell, because that's the product at the end of the day. You are the product, your attention is the product. And so you have to recognize that that is how it's set up going into it. Okay. Instagram, all of this stuff. Okay. That all of it, I'm sick of it. Okay. Then let's go. Okay. Not even just talking about the problem with ads and all of this stuff, but then you have the actual content. Okay. What, and this might be made up, right? 70% of all statistics are made up. But what, it's like fake news spreads on the internet like 7 times faster than real news. Even if that's not an accurate figure, fake news spreads faster than real news. Why? Because what do you want to hear? Is what's more interesting, disinterested, nuanced political discourse that takes you an hour to read and to really digest and understand, or some headline invoking outrage and confirming everything that you already believe? Click here to be outraged and to have your fucking dick stroked and your ego stroked, and you to literally just just to get the most amazing dopamine rush. And I fucking knew it. See, it's the liberals. See, Trump followers are racist, and I knew it, and the world's ending. That gets clicks. That's what people want. And the algorithm doesn't give a fuck about your well-being, about your mental health. It cares. It is set up to do one thing: optimize your attention. And if that is what people like, if that's what people will watch, that's what it's going to optimize. So here's the problem it leads us with. What I might see as Uh, whoa. Oh, that's Ice Machine. Okay. What I might see on my social media and where I get my like filter and my understanding of the truth is a completely different from the person sitting beside me on the metro, from my parents, from my family, from literally every other person, right? I am like essentially in a vacuum that is literally just what's it called, the echo chamber, right? And it's just confirming all of my biases, right? A lot of this we already know. Okay, so I'm not gonna rant on this for too long. um but the problem is that we are all essentially living in different realities. There is like an utter breakdown and just fundamental disagreement on what is happening in the world. You, the the truth, if it ever did exist, sure as hell doesn't exist now. What is the truth about COVID? Honestly, like seriously, do you believe that you can just go on the internet and just find the truth about COVID? Do you think that the media, whatever media news outlet you're following, is that the truth? Is what your favorite podcaster is, are they delivering you the truth? Right. Where can we go to find the truth about COVID? Where can I go to find the truth about the election? To find, like, just to name a couple of like dividing things that have been happening. But like, my point is not about what is happening and is COVID real, is it not, or because so for some people, the fact that you would even question the validity of it is flabbergasting. And for other people, it's nothing more than a flu, right? And my whole point is that it's not about what is actually like happening, what the truth is. The point, the deeper thing that should scare everybody is the fundamental breakdown of any amount of agreement or shared reality, right? That we are all just fracturing and floating further and further away. And like this, it's just so much polarization, and the rift is growing bigger and bigger. And we have lost like any ability to communicate with each other than yelling at each other on Twitter. It's insane. I'm sick of it. And is this, like, ask yourself, is this what we want? Is this what a healthy society looks like? No. And so, you got that. You have just the, not even to, I'm not gonna get into this. I just kind of want to highlight it and then move on to hopefully the positive part of this video. Um, so not even let's just talk about a little bit, like, there's then all of the detrimental mental health effects. Okay, we know that doing cocaine every day generally is not a good idea. Why? Because it totally short wires and ruins your neurochemistry and your dopamine system, your reward system, your motivation, your ability to experience happiness, to experience joy, to be satisfied with your life. Yet somehow we think it's okay to endlessly scroll, to have the most hyper addictive technology and device and just thing literally that has ever existed in human history. And to be sucked into it, to be plugged into it nonstop 24/7, that before we even greet our significant other in the morning, that we check our Facebook. But the first thing that we do when we wake up, it's the last thing we do at night. We can't even take a fucking shit without bringing our phone into the toilet. We can't go to we can't go anywhere, we can't get in our car, we can't go to a restaurant, we can't go anywhere without bringing it, without looking at it. And somehow we think this is a great idea. And now we're more depressed than ever, we're more suicidal than ever, we're more unhappy, anxious, stressed, have more chronic illness than ever. And we wonder why we're all so unhappy, why we're all so stressed, right? And I'm not just saying, don't misunderstand, like, I'm not proposing everyone just go and chuck their phone in a river. I'm saying we need to start having a real deep, nuanced conversation about the effects of all of this, and the effects on our mental health, and then the effects on your physical health, right? and the effects on your spiritual health, on your emotional health, on all of these other aspects of life that most of us don't even know exist and couldn't even give two shits about. And yet, like, we would rather just scroll and just be numb than start addressing these things and to understand how we are being taken advantage of, how these things are negatively affecting us. And so that's something I would like to go into a little bit more. But I want to move on to the last part of this video, which is, like I said, I don't have the answers. I really don't. I don't know, like, I really don't know what the future is going to look like, but we're gonna build it. And this literally is a call to, instead of sitting passively on your hands and letting life and the future pass you by, to start working to actively build a better life and a better future, whatever that means for you. Whatever, like, that's more than anything, that's what I'm focused on, right? Is, I want to be, if I'm going to exist, if I'm going to be here in this realm, in this three-dimensional realm, in this body and all of this shit, why, my brother said it really good. He said, why exist badly, right? Why would you want to exist badly? Why would you just, why would you want to be unhappy? Why would you resign yourself to being unhappy, anxious, stressed, and somewhere where you don't want to be, right? And if you're not working on getting there, then why are you here, really? What are you doing other than just existing and just converting, oxygen into carbon dioxide, really? And so, being a fucking battery for the matrix, really. So, you know, this is a call to start to open up the conversation about what a good life looks like, what a healthy relationship with technology looks like, and it's a call to end the mania, to unsubscribe from that slightly fringe, a little bit like out there, political group that tickles your mind when you scroll through or whatever, to unsubscribe from the outrage media, to unsubscribe to the things in your life that no longer serve you, that are not adding any value to your life, but rather keeping you in this passive, fear driven state, right? And so, um I like I really so this project, I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe I'll make YouTube videos, but maybe it'll be like some kind of blog, or I have no idea, right? Literally, like I said, I turned on record and started talking. And if you've listened to me ramble on for 33 minutes so far, thank you so much. um, Maybe one person, probably my mom and my dad. Thank you. But seriously, like, this is it. This is what I'm trying to do. This is a project of, I like, let's have a conversation about what does that look like? What does that look like for you? So let me start a little bit for myself, right? Number one, when I get on my phone, I turn on do not disturb, right? My phone almost perpetually, barring the last week, because fuck, the last week has been really bad, in terms of all of this, is do not disturb, right? And I have all my notifications off, really, for social media in the first place, because, like, seriously, should Instagram be able to tell you when to get on Instagram? Do you want Instagram to have that much power over your life? Okay, I don't personally. And I find that about the only damn way that I can do what I'm trying to do when I get on my phone is to have do not disturb on. Because otherwise, have you ever had it happen where you get on your phone to do something and then 30 minutes later, you don't even remember what the fuck you got on your phone for, and you found yourself in some weird other place scrolling or buying something on Amazon or whatever, right? Like, do you think that is by accident? Like, can you honestly say that it's by accident? You know where I stand on that, but um, stop. Don't fucking give them that power over you, okay? It literally, if everyone did that one thing, turning on Do Not Disturb, and like you want to check Instagram, great. Make a conscious choice. You yourself decide I'm gonna go on Instagram. I'm gonna check this, right? Rather than just be, oh my god, oh, what notification did I get? And letting your attention be guided. Okay, so for me, it looks like turning on Do Not Disturb. There, as far as like a healthy relationship with technology, generally I only follow things that make my life better. Okay, be honest with yourself. Does watching funny TikToks 3 hours every day, does that actually make your life better? Is that getting you where you want to be? Is that helping you have the career that you want? Is that helping you be with the life partner that you want? Is that helping you have the body that you want, right? You might argue, well, no, it helps me relax, whatever. Really? You need 3 hours of mind numbing, funny videos to relax? I beg to differ, but so really be honest with yourself. Examine your content, follow better content, and I'm gonna make another video about a lot of people they say, oh well, I don't just use TikTok for funny videos. I actually I find like stuff that I like, or like nature stuff, or stuff that helps me with meditation, or they teach me new facts and new interesting things, or this type of stuff. That's great and all, and I think that's a step in the right direction, but I still think there's that is still very fundamentally problematic. And it would be better, honestly, to, instead of having a million good, like 30-second good ideas thrown at you and you don't remember any of them, to just maybe read a book, or to go out for coffee with a new person, or to push yourself out of your comfort zone, or to contemplate a complex idea, or to start working on learning piano because you have been procrastinating, and you said you've been trying to learn piano for the last 2 years and you don't have enough time, right? Rather than watching people play piano on TikTok. I still think that that's better, right? And so if you're gonna be consuming content, does it make your life better? Listen to a philosophy podcast, listen to an economics podcast, listen to a psychology podcast, learn something new about the brain, like widen your minds, read something that you wouldn't normally read, right? And then like yeah, so examine the quality of the content that you're looking at, right? And then get a screen tracker. And when you see that you have spent the 10, 15 hours on Instagram in the last week, really ask yourself, okay, would my life be better if I had spent 15 hours this week writing that play I want to write, or meeting new people, going out and meeting new people? I know it's a little bit difficult right now with COVID, but or we're editing my book, or doing literally any number of things, because essentially that's 15 hours that you just pissed away. It's gone. You're never getting it back. And you have nothing to show for it. And actually, you're worse off for it. You're more nervous. You're more anxious. You're more unhappy with your life because you've just watched everybody else living their life. It's crazy, right? Like, instead of being present and having an amazing life, I'm just going to pretend that I have an amazing life and post about it on Instagram, and then watch everybody